So, before you begin watching, I've worked on this video for a few days straight. And this is, by far, my biggest project. I took 30 minutes worth of video and cut it down to at least 10. So, without further ado, allow me to begin with a question. Tell me, do you know what the definition of insanity is? It's the act of doing something over and over again, hoping for a different result. And our scamming friend tried to do just that. Do you remember Meme Fortress 2? Because, he's back with a new scam. Same intro, of course, but we have ourselves a different punchline. I sent an invite to my server, which he used to friend me, and then he insulted it. How rude. This, almost like it's been practiced dozens of times, is what he posted immediately after sliding into my PMs. We do the traditional cat and mouse banter where I pretend to be all oblivious and fall for these sort of things. You know the deal. Oh, that username? Sort of thing. I'll spare you the details. Eventually he pieced things together and found the things he was looking for, and then sent me this little message. Which, I'll admit, is a nice compliment, although it's really just as empty as his PayPal. That's to say, that was an attempt to butter me up more than Paula Deen. So, that leads to this. Another English-laden grammatical fallacy. Of course, there's a minor back and forth before he asks for the authenticator code. Now, before we get to that, I decided to check my profile, right? See if everything was where it should be. And it was, and I came across this. The only way I can describe how this discovery felt would be like the beginning of an action movie. Picture this, if you will. Some character has the nuclear detonation codes for a missile, right? And then there's some guy, the antagonist, and he's like, now hand over the codes so I could return them to the government. But then the protagonist shows up and is all like, no, don't give him the codes, right before the antagonist gets a hands on him. Now, I want to see how far I could take this. So I took the protagonist's advice and decided to not give him the code. But it wasn't like I was going to anyway. I'm not going to fall for something as easy as this. So I pieced together a 5-digit mess at random instead. Now pay attention to his response, what he says right there, because that is very important later. The usual game of ping pong of dialogue ensues, as things tend to do in these sort of situations. Now, this is where I started to get bored and things really started to heat up. You see, I sent him the video of our previous run-in. This is the part where he starts to understand that I was playing him the whole time, and he was not happy. Now, I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw this, I panicked, and it was here that I genuinely got spooked. Looking back on it now, it's laughable, but when I first saw this, I nearly lost my composure. This was an eerie sight at first, and as much as I hate to admit it, I was actually kind of scared. Did he actually find out? Anyways, he started to threaten me. This had me on edge, mind you. I had valuable things on this account. During the initial run, I had my recording software running in the background. The thing is, my recording software is not all that great, since I had Discord selected in the recorder, and it made everything not very responsive, to say the least. So, it turned out, by the time I found out there was a trade offer for my, everything, this whole debacle ended. So, after my rather neutral response, he started to count down, which in hindsight was a dead giveaway. I was nervous. What could I do? It hit me. Change my password. That'll show him. So I went over to Steam support, and my rational thoughts started to come back. Mostly. Whenever anyone tried to log in or do anything with my account, I got an authenticator alert on my phone. If you really japed me like you acted, then I would have gotten something. If my emails changed, I would get an email for confirmation. My senses were returning. Here he continued to threaten me. You put a very weak password in here, judging by the warning. I wasn't certain of things, but I was starting to become cynical, and my prying helped me turn things around. Now, this is the part where things really returned to my side. I didn't know it immediately, but I unknowingly discovered that I had a winning hand to this proverbial poker hand. He laughed. He had an ace high and a scary poker face, but I was holding a full house here. Now, good viewer, it was at this point that I got to the offensive. Remember the code from earlier? Here it is again. He was threatening me with a bogus code that he himself admitted was wrong. Literally a 5-digit string of text that I jammed in randomly. So what did I do? Bluff. I bluffed as hard as I could. Now, somewhere in the middle of this dilemma, I had time to meditate on what little I knew in my panicked stupor. If he had control of my account, why threaten me? Why not just take my things and leave? What was the point of stalling? It was because, sweet audience, his bluff was petering out. Now, about my bluff. Try me. If you really have me on the ropes, take the punch. Prove to me that you have me beat. Pardon my errors here, but I digress. There's a bit more dialogue between us. None of it was actually relevant. It was more of him telling me to give me all of my items and me saying, take them and my account. So he does that stupid laugh like this is a role play of sorts. And I point that out. Laughing in text just makes this seem more like an act. And believe you me, it was. So about this time, I doubled down on my "you have me" beats and the "you earned it." After all, if you really had all this control of my account like you claimed you did, what could I possibly do? Well, actually, there's plenty I could do, but that's straying off topic here. This is the part of the tale where things are winding down. I threw a few more messages at him through both the Steam Messenger and Discord. And he never blocked me over Steam, but he did over Discord. And just before he blocked me, he sent this final message. His final hurrah! His last message before blocking me? This was him admitting defeat. He essentially told me, "Bah, I'm too good for your things anyway." And that was it. The end of my little story. There are some parts I wish I had handled better, but in the end I emerged on top, with all my items intact and my account secure. I did change my password, though, just for good measure. Now, our culprit is the same as last time, albeit with a different Discord. Now, for the important parts. Stay safe, you hear? If someone pulls up saying they want to send you Steam wallet funds over PayPal, be wary. I personally contacted PayPal support, and they confirmed that you cannot, or at least at the time that this happened, send funds straight from your PayPal directly to your Steam wallets. And don't give them your authenticator code. Keep calm and take things one step at a time. Make sure you secure your account too. And please, report this guy. I'm going to be honest, I hate the concept of calling a witch hunt based off of a political view or opinion. But this instance is neither. This is someone trying to rob you of your things. Stay safe and happy trails!